Hi. How y'all doing? Happy Hump Day. It is December the 15th, 2021. As you can see from the title of today's missive, Done Wrong, Done Right. This is kind of on the backs of what I did on Monday. Actually, it has one back. We don't edit around here. By the way, not a sponsor. You ever see something on a cup? It's just accidental. Don't have sponsors around here. So, I had a proverbial hard-on about the Raiders situation, and I still do. But I have a pair of situations here I'm going to contrast for you that it kind of shows a cultural issue. And sorry if you hear the machines in the background; they're ripping up the backyard here. It's a nice little project. So it is what it is. Anyway, it has come to light a Raiders defensive rookie, Divine Diablo. Good little player. Little, I mean, he's a big dude, but 6-something with muscles and stuff. But he's a defensive back. He's a defensive back, so he's one of the smaller players on the team, I guess. Comes out and says, the veterans aren't playing hard. He called out the veterans on the club. He didn't, not by name. Probably not Derek Carr. He's probably talking about the defense. Could be talking about both sides of the ball. But he said the veterans in general on the team are not practicing hard. And after losing 5 of their last 6 games, he's pretty pissed off about it. Now, it's remarkable that a rookie has to call out a club. What's more remarkable is that you have a professional coach that's allowing that. A group of them. I don't care if you're a player's coach or not. You hit the skids, they hit the practice field. You need more practice, not less. You don't go through the motions. You pop some pads. You start cracking each other. Now you're starting to understand the slow starts on all the games and everything else. It's starting to come together. And Bisaccia, again, bye-bye. Don't like what I'm seeing. And I will tell you this. No Gruden team would have done this. No Gruden team would have done this. No Gruden team ever sat on its butt. No Gruden team ever gave lack of effort. Now, on game day, I'm sure they're getting their effort because that's how they get paid. They get stats. They get their Benjamins. That's how it is with the modern athlete. Well, some of them. So you have leadership problems that come from a sense of being pampered. Every little thing they want, they got chefs packaging their meals. They get off. They get to the airport. There's a table with ready to eat meals, chef prepared, perfectly portioned, and all the carb numbers and their all their macros, as you call them, perfectly done. All kinds of snacks, everything. I mean, everything is catered, especially in the NFL. They're pampered. Now, yeah, they've earned it by getting to that point. But it's part of the problem. There's a sense of entitlement. Second piece of the culture is called load management. Now, you've heard me when I've talked about the NBA, what my thinking of load management is. It's best done on a toilet. From a seated position. The old doozer. Dunkachino. Sorry, Duncan. Love me some Duncan. Also not a sponsor of the program. So I'm going to have to retire Dunkachino. Dropping kids off at the pool. Alright? That's what I think of load management. You're paid millions of dollars. You get your freaking arse on that field. You practice hard. You go through your pampered routines in between. You get on that field on game day and you bust your arse. There's no load management. Yeah, freaking break. You don't like it? There's 100 kids trying to be where you are. Period. And now, because it's so pervasive and because players can get coaches canned, now the coaches are like, I got this $1 million salary. Everybody around me makes more money than me. If I step out of line, the players don't like me. They go to the owner. I lose my job. Then I have to go to a job making a lot less money. So now enter the player's coach. I'll let them do whatever the hell they want. As a fan, bullcrap. But as a fellow coach, I understand why that is happening. And if I was in that situation, I'm probably looking at not having a very long career because I wouldn't allow that. But I would try to inspire. I wouldn't try to go the Coughlin model, or the some of the guys that are just like all over these guys. But there's ways to do it where you call out their manhood a little bit. Okay? You win a few games, you start getting some cred. That stuff dies down. There are teams in the NFL that don't act like a bunch of whining bitches. There are. So that's the done wrong part. The done right part. We have to go to the other side of the planet because it just doesn't exist in the United States of load management. Arsenal Football Club in the Premier League. They have just stripped their captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Used to be a great goal scorer until about 2 or 3 years ago. He got his long-term deal, and all of a sudden he can't hit anything from point-blank range. He's hapless, unexciting, and isn't doing the things he needs to do on or off the pitch. So they've stripped him of his captaincy. And in England, the captaincy is a big effing deal. It's not for coin tosses. They are really into character in Britain. They may do a lot of weird things. They may be bedwetters by comparison from their military to our military or something like that. But they do believe in traditions. They do believe that those traditions are earned. That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. So it creates a culture. They have just a national culture of accountability to such a large degree by comparison. And quality leadership is going to create a culture inside that locker room and out on the pitch. You rather than pampering, there's constant competition. They have like under 23 leagues. They have under 18 leagues. They have an academy. Each of these teams do. All 20 of the teams in the Premier League. And there's a down chain of lower leagues as well. So you're constantly under competition. You realize you can be bought out. You can be sitting. So guys have to bust their butts. And that pampering stuff, bitch, please. And there's a lot more money in the Premier League than you may think. On the par or better versus the money that's involved in the NFL over here. So it's an apt comparison. They're not nearly as pampered. They're responsible for their nutrition. Okay? And there are a couple of the players on Arsenal that have really decided, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is the one guy who has revolutionized his game just in the past year or so because he's gotten his diet back on point. They're responsible for that. It's personal accountability. Instead of load management, they show up on game day. They show up at practice. They bust their butts. In fact, they film their practices and they put them on social media. You're loafing, everybody sees it. I like that, actually. You earn your salary that way. Because you're not getting game checks. You're supposed to be out in the community. You're supposed to be doing some nice things. Other than just showing up on game day. And that's not to say NFL players don't do that also. But it's much more demanded over there. You have to earn your salary rather than to manage your loads. In the Premier League, your coaches are running the show. Because of that situation. You have the coaches basically say, hey, here's my starting 11. You want to crack it? Show me something in practice. Show me something off the pitch. I'll put you on the pitch. That's what happens. So that's really what you're looking at. It is a leadership culture that it's just missing. Now there are teams in the NFL that have good leadership structures and that have a solid management. But it's the exception now, not the rule. We've gone way soft in the United States of entitlement. Among other names I give it. Is that to say it's a universal fault? No. But we are rotting from within. Sports, to the degree that it's allowed to keep happening, it's basically like it's like a microcosm of our society. We've gotten soft. People don't want to work as hard now. They want to be Instagram models. They want to be influencers. They want to have a YouTube channel and sit home all day and make money. And that's their primary way of making money. And that's kind of cool if you got something good to say. All right? But a lot of them don't. We've gone to a culture that's very soft, very entitled. It's been too good for too long. I'm 51 years old. So I was born in 1970. Okay? I wasn't born in the Great Depression or anything. But these guys that got through World War I and World War II, could this country survive that? I don't know. I don't know if we got enough people that can handle, because it wasn't just the soldiers. It was the fact that we had to, as a nation, we had to make sacrifices so that we could send all the stuff that our boys needed overseas. People lose their freaking mind if their iPhone's late getting shipped. We have major problems. So the sports is a microcosm of a pampered society. So we are now getting the afterbirth of that. And yeah, afterbirth is a nasty thing. So it's something that really bothers me. And what also really bothers me, and then I'll digress for the day, is that there's way too many people making way too many dollars. Okay? And not busting their ass for it. It's like you bust your ass to get there, and then you stop. Now, are there guys busting their butts in the NFL? Absolutely. You ever seen Derrick Henry's workout routines? My God. But that's the exception. Myles Garrett, another one, on the other side of the ball. Ridiculous. A lot of these guys work hard. Probably most. But there's way too many divas. And when let's use an analogy. Cancer entering the body of a person. Most of the cells in the body are healthy. You introduce a cancerous cell into that body, and that body can die of cancer because it replicates. It becomes more normal. It grows. It metastasizes. It has to be cut out and removed, not reasoned with. So the cancers in these locker rooms need to be dealt with, and they're not. They're coddled. And it is metastasizing, and it is growing. And our sports are becoming a laughingstock because of it. Mediocrity on a weekly, if not daily basis. And the Raiders embody that as much as anybody does. So do the Bears, so do some of the other clubs. Don't get me wrong. But the Raiders are the most talented of that group of underachieving, sniveling, pampered, load-managed athletes. And that offends me as a fan. And it offends me that Bisaccia is allowing it as a coach. I like what Arsenal's doing. That's the done right. Raiders, done way wrong. And are there good guys on the Raiders? Absolutely. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue. You got some good leaders there. I'll bet you they are busting their ass. But there's enough of the veterans are not. And it shows. Lost 5 of 6. So there you go. That's my 2 cents for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. I will be back on Friday to whine and not whine, but to bitch and complain about something, I guess, right? I'll try to make it something pithy and positive if I possibly can. But the sporting world kind of is what it is. Sorry. Facts. That's what it is. So I'll leave it at that for today. Happy hump day. Enjoy yourself. Be productive. Do not manage your loads. And I will holler at you on Friday. Peace out, me homies. See ya.